What's going on, Knicks fans? Welcome to another edition of Knicks Latest, your go-to YouTube channel for everything New York Knicks. Tomorrow is the start of the preseason for the New York Knicks. They will be taking on the Philadelphia 76ers in Abu Dhabi. I cannot wait for this. I have waited all offseason for this. Finally, it's here, and I know you've waited too. Make sure you subscribe to the video. Not to the video, to the channel. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Comment on the video. Like the video. Let me know what you think about the first preseason game, about what you want to see tomorrow in Abu Dhabi when the Knicks take on the Philadelphia 76ers. I do take your comments. I do use them as content for the show. I answer your questions. I respond to your critiques, all that good stuff. Also, we're trying to build a community here of New York Knicks fans. We're trying to, talk about the Knicks objectively and root for the Knicks. This is a positive Knicks channel. We're not going to rip the team here. We will talk about them objectively. But definitely be rooting for the team because this is the golden age of Knicks basketball, right? Like, we are going into a season for the first time since the Ewing era where I think we're expected to go to the NBA Finals. Knicks fans are expecting to go to the NBA Finals and possibly win the NBA Finals. So please subscribe, join me, join everybody else who subscribed. We have good discussions here. It's a good time. All right, let's get into it. First, I want to get into this report by James Edwards from The Athletic. He reported that it is pretty much a foregone conclusion that the Knicks are going to sign 2 out of the 3 veterans that they've been working out that have not gone guaranteed contracts, which are Landry Shamet, Garrison Matthews, and Malcolm Brogdon. Right now, it seems like it's more Shamet and Brogdon leading the way with Matthews as a long shot. Now, that leads to us discussing, well, who's going to be traded then, right? Because they have to open up a spot in order to sign 2 people. First of all, it doesn't surprise me they're signing 2 people. I think this is a season in which the Knicks are feeling like they have to go all in. You bring in a veteran like Malcolm Brogdon, somebody who is a former 6th man of the year, former rookie of the year, somebody who can play the point guard position just in case anything happens to Jalen Brunson. I did have someone comment a couple videos ago saying that I'd be crazy if I think that Jordan Clarkson wouldn't be the point guard and that Brogdon wouldn't be the guard if Brunson were to go down. I actually highly disagree with that. I don't think Clarkson's a point guard at all. I think you inject Malcolm Brogdon into the starting lineup, somebody who has played point guard at a higher level than Jordan Clarkson has, somebody who is more of a ball handler, somebody who is more of a distributor. Jordan Clarkson. Clarkson, to me, is your weapon off the bench. That is his role. I think that is what he's best at. I think it's a great role for him to have. Don't want to change that at all. We need that spark off the bench. I think that's where he's best suited. I think Mike Brown would be a fool to put him in the starting lineup because now you're losing that punch off the bench. Jordan, I want you coming off the bench, and I want you buckets all day. Brogdon, yeah, run the offense. That's what you need. If Brunson goes out, you have somebody come in, run the offense, and I think that's why the Knicks value Malcolm Brogdon because they feel like he can be that piece and they don't have to disrupt too much of the rotation. It's kind of like a seamless fit. Now, he's not Brunson, but he's somebody you can trust with the basketball, bring it up, handling the rock, and running a system. Jordan's going to go in there and he's going to do Jordan. It's cool. I mean, that's why we signed him, but it's not what you want in your starting lineup, at least when you have OG Anunoby and Mikal Bridges and, Karl Anthony Towns and other people who need the basketball. Anyway, sidebar. This is going to lead to somebody being traded. And if you watch the show all summer, I've been talking about how I probably think it's going to be Tyler Kolek. Now, according to Edwards here, Kolek holds no value in the league. Teams don't see him as somebody who they want to give up anything for. To me, his ceiling is a backup point guard. Last year he came in. I thought he did an admirable job when Brunson was out, when Deuce was out. He had to run point guard off the bench. You saw his assist numbers, in limited action. He can find the open man. He can pass the basketball. He can move the rock. Yeah, he could shoot the 3 when he's open, but he can't play defense. The ceiling is kind of low there. He's very talented, but I don't think he's somebody that, is going to move the needle for anybody, which is why the Knicks can't really seem to trade him. The other player who I thought might be traded would be Ariel Hukporti. He's somebody who I think has a lot of potential. He's an athlete. I mean, he will dunk on you. He will jam on you. He has a little bit of a hook, like 6 to 8 feet from the rim. That's nothing crazy, but more of an offensive potential than Mitchell Robinson. Definitely nowhere near the defensive potential, but he is athletic. If you harness that athleticism, maybe you can get a good defender out of him in the future. If you're a team that's looking for a young big to maybe mold, Hukporti could be an option for you. Looks like those two really don't have much value around the league right now, and the person who has value is Pacoma Dadier. Now, Dadier is somebody who I think his ceiling is, a starter in this league. I do think, if he develops correctly, he's somebody who can create his own shot. He could shoot the 3. He seems like a scorer. He seems like somebody who not someone you could build a team around. I don't think he's a star in this league, but I do think he's somebody who's a serviceable wing player, 3-and-D, someone who could put the ball on the floor, get to the rim. And I do think a lot of teams value that. And right now, that seems to be the person who teams are, looking for if there is to be a trade to open up a roster spot. I think Dadier is going to be the one that's gone, as does Edwards, according to this report that he is saying. Now, Edwards does go on to say that it's a long shot. He doesn't think it's going to happen, so don't panic, but it's a possibility that Deuce McBride might be going too at some point in this season. His contract is up at the end of the year. The Knicks got him on a bargain. They paid him right before he got into the rotation, so they were able to get him for the cheap or extend him on the cheap. That's coming to an end. He's going to want more money. Leon Rose likes to move off of contracts before he has to extend them, so maybe Deuce is gone by the deadline. But for this particular trade, I don't think they're going to move Deuce McBride just to open up a roster spot for Malcolm Brogdon. The Deuce question is very interesting to me just because where does he fit in all this? You bring in Brogdon, you bring in Shamet. Now you have Clarkson, Shamet, Brogdon, Deuce, Hart if he's not starting. That's a lot of players who can play the wing or guard position log-jammed in the bench. Somebody's the odd man out there. Maybe even two people are the odd man out there. It's going to be very interesting to see Mike Brown, juggle this bench rotation going into the regular season. He did say he wanted to play 10 people. Still, even with that, you still have Yabusele. You still have maybe Mitchell Robinson. You still have Huck Porty maybe gets minutes. There's a lot of moving parts here. There's a lot of different lineup combinations that Mike Brown can go with. Now, obviously, it also depends on your opponent. It's going to be very interesting to see that bench rotation, though. That's what I'm going to say, especially if Brogdon and Shamet are the two veterans that the Knicks sign, and it's looking like that's what it's going to be. But, yeah, this is not surprising. The Knicks are all in. They are all in this year. They want to win the NBA championship, and I think you can get rid of the kids, so to say, even if these kids are not even the kids of the past, right? Like, you had Quickly, Grimes, RJ. These are players who were starting 6 men. They were getting big minutes. These are kids who are not even playing. Get rid of them. Window's open. It's never been this open before. Nice to know you. Good luck. We're trying to win a championship. One thing I want to get into, Mike Brown said that the minutes police were correct. Now, he didn't say that, but he did say he's not willing to run his team into the ground to get a W. There's going to be some nights this year where, let's say the Knicks are down 12, 14 points with 4 minutes left to go in the game. He's going to pull the plug early just so the Knicks can rest and have fresh legs going into the postseason. We just had a Josh Hart quote saying how he gave everything. He gave it his all, but he ran out of gas in the Eastern Conference Finals. And a lot of Knicks fans who were minutes police during the Tom Thibodeau era took that and ran with it and saying, hey, look, this is what happens when you play 35, 40 minutes a game. And I don't think they're wrong in certain scenarios. Mike Brown has made it very, very clear that he wants his team to be fresh into the playoffs, and I appreciate that. Now, for me personally, if a game is winnable, I want you to try to win that game. That's how I feel. If you're down 10 points with 4 minutes, go for it. I think you should go for it. Now, pull the plug once you see that it's not possible, but go for it. For me, it's the games with Tom Thibodeau that would really, really make me mad. It was like the Knicks are up 27 points in the fourth quarter, and he's subbing in Josh Hart with 8 minutes left to go in the game. Those are the type of games where it's like, what are you doing, man? And that would happen often, too. You're up 20-something points, and the other team goes on a 4-0 run, and you want to throw in Jalen Brunson with 8 minutes left to go in the game, and it's like, yeah, we're playing the short haul. It's like, this is not necessary. We don't have to do this. So those are the games in which I think Tom Thibodeau kind of messed up on, where it's like, listen, you got a big lead. There's no need to bring in players for extra minutes. It does not make any sense. And I think Mike Brown recognizes that. I think that's a message that maybe the players got to him immediately. That seems like something where he's like, okay, I listen to you guys. I hear you. I'm going to do that. And I'm glad for that, because I do think the Knicks need to be fresh going into the postseason, because I do think they have a serious chance of winning the NBA championship this year. All right, Knicks play tomorrow in Abu Dhabi against the Philadelphia 76ers. I'll just repeat what I said yesterday. To me, this is all about process. I don't care about results. If Jalen Brunson goes 3 for 12 tomorrow, I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. I just want to see what the offense looks like. What does the offense look like with Jalen Brunson off the ball? What offensive sets are they running? How does Karl-Anthony Towns look like in pick-and-roll situations? Are they dropping? Are they trapping? Are they switching? What are we doing in those type of situations? Who runs the offense if Jalen Brunson's not running the offense? What does the bench look like? What combinations is he putting forward? Does Yabusele get minutes with the starters in a small ball type of lineup? There's just different things that I'm looking out for. For me, they can lose by 20 and I will be satisfied depending on what I see, right? If they're pushing the pace, if they're running the basketball, if we're utilizing everybody's talents, then I'm going to be happy, right? If OG Anunoby misses 4 open threes from the corner, I'm not going to sweat it because I know he's going to hit them in the regular season. You get what I'm saying? I'm looking forward to their defensive rotations. Are we trapping off those picks more? He did that in Sacramento. So I'm looking to see if the Knicks are going to be more aggressive. I'm looking forward to seeing, if Deuce, Shamet, and Brogdon can play at the same time. If Deuce, Clarkson, and Brogdon can play at the same time, what does that look like back there? Not really concerned about who starts just yet. I'll believe Mike Brown when he tells me he comes to a conclusion about what the starting lineup is going to be, and then we'll go forward from there. But just the different lineup combinations and different sets that they run offensively, the off-ball movement that he's been talking about, and the more paying attention to detail when it comes to shooting a three-point shot. I think they're going to shoot more threes, so that's what I'm looking forward to. Let me know what you're looking forward to in the comment section below about the Knicks Sixers tomorrow. Like I said, I do take your comments. I use it for content. Make sure you like the video. Subscribe to the channel. We're trying to build a community here of Knicks fans going into the most anticipated Knicks season since the Ewing era. Cannot wait. This season is finally back. I'll talk to you tomorrow. See you for another episode of Knicks Latest. Peace.